Okay, so maybe more like a major setback, but still totally temporary. I'll brush myself off, take a little time to recover, and bounce right back, stronger than ever. The springs in the seat of Grandpa's truck squeaked and rocked as he pulled into the shopping center. I've got to go drop off your grandma's prescription. While I wait for the medicine, maybe you can take care of this shopping list for your mom? He gave her a handwritten list along with a $100 bill. She glanced from the pharmacy to Homeland Foods, a couple of shops separating them. Of course, there wasn't a pharmacy in the grocery store, and even if there were, her grandparents never trusted places that multitasked, as if the pharmacist in a grocery store might mix up and give you pills with lettuce in them by accident. The odds of seeing someone she knew were around 99.5%. She was sure the town's entire population had heard about her performance at Tyler Blue's induction to the Louisiana Music Hall of Fame, and everyone she ran into would want to know why they hadn't heard her singing on the radio yet, something she'd assumed would happen shortly after that performance in Louisiana, too. That was before everything had fallen apart, though, and after the last time she'd gotten on stage, well, she didn't want to think about it because she was fighting bursting into tears as it was. There'd also be questions about how long she'd be in town, and since she looked like crap from traveling on top of all that cheeriness, Homeland Foods was the last place she wanted to go. But it's not like she could say, "No, Grandpa, I need to primp and mentally prepare before buying food that's, necessary for life." So she just smiled. "No problem." Luckily, there weren't many items on the list. She strode into the market, grabbed a basket, and shopped as if she were in a high-stakes race. At the last minute, she paused in front of the condiments. Green olives weren't on Grandpa's list, but he and Sadie used to sneak into the kitchen late at night and down a jar between them, along with large glasses of chocolate milk. He even used to joke that all the olives she'd eaten were how her eyes got to be so green. Just in case, she grabbed a jar and headed to the next aisle over to pick up a canister of Nesquik. She took one last glance at the list. Looks like I got it all. Miracle of miracles. She'd managed to avoid running into anyone she knew. All she had to do was get out of here and back to the safety of Grandpa's truck. But then she turned, and the world ground to a screeching halt. The guy she'd just been thinking about, the one who'd offered her another dream all those years ago, was coming down the aisle. She darted out of sight, her heart jumping around like crazy, a thump and a squeeze, and she was starting to get lightheaded with how fast it was going. What was Royce Dixon, her high school boyfriend and the guy who'd asked her to marry him all those years ago, doing in Homeland Foods right now? And how in the hell could she get out of here without him seeing her? Royce grabbed the jumbo jar of peanut butter, picked up raspberry and grape jam, they always seemed to be the favorites, and made his way to the checkout stands. As usual, his mind was still back at the ranch, spinning over everything he needed to get done and how behind he was. Being short-handed was starting to become a huge problem. Important things were falling by the wayside, and with the new batch of teens for the camp just in, he desperately needed another employee, and he needed one now. Especially after the bomb his lawyer had decided to drop today. Everyone in town was busy working their own jobs, and most of them had ranch work, too. He'd asked around, even taken out an ad, and had gotten squat. Not even one person. And now it didn't just need to be a person, it needed to be a she. Royce pressed his fingers to the throbbing headache forming between his temples. Working with troubled teens brought all sorts of extra issues and liabilities, and apparently he was putting himself at risk every single day that there wasn't another female adult around. Mom couldn't be everywhere at once, not to mention she couldn't be confined to the ranch full time. The appointment with Mr. Blackstone was supposed to be simple, just a few signatures and papers.